Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really unearthing something special, I think, a hidden gem of Islamic history and architecture. We're heading to Kairouan in Tunisia, focusing on its Great Mosque.
A truly fascinating site.
Absolutely. And our mission, really, is to understand how one part of this mosque, its minaret, became this blueprint for, well, a huge region. We'll also look at the innovation happening there, and maybe the most surprising part, how its survival gives us this unique glimpse into early Islamic life.
It really does. It's quite a story.
So let's set the scene. Kairouan wasn't, just another city popping up. It was the first major Islamic settlement in the Maghreb.
That's crucial. Its founding back in the 7th century.
Right, and it rose incredibly fast, didn't it? It became this hub for learning, for architecture, trade, really influential very quickly.
It absolutely did. Think about it, 7th century. This wasn't just building a town. It was laying the groundwork, culturally and physically, for Islamic civilization across North Africa. Its early establishment really shaped the region's trajectory. It makes the later architectural achievements like the mosque even more significant.
Okay, so the Great Mosque itself, founded in the 7th century, like the city, but the structure we mostly see now, that comes from a big rebuild in 836 CE.
Exactly. That 836 rebuilding under the Aghlabids is key for its lasting features.
The Aghlabids, let's talk about them for a second. They ruled Ifriqiya, that's modern Tunisia, bits of Algeria, Libya.
Right, from about 800 to 909 CE. And the important thing is, while technically under the Abbasid Caliphate in Baghdad, they operated with a lot of independence.
So they had their own ambitions.
Oh, absolutely. A huge vision for Kairouan. They wanted it to stand shoulder to shoulder with the great centers like Baghdad, Damascus, in beauty and scholarship, everything. So rebuilding the mosque wasn't just religious devotion. It was, a major political statement, a symbol of their power.
And standing right at the center of that statement, the minaret. Built in 836 CE, it's North Africa's oldest standing minaret.
Still standing, over 31 meters tall.
Yeah.
But its importance goes way beyond its height.
Yeah, you mentioned its form is really distinctive. Can you describe that? It's not the typical slender shape many might imagine?
Not at all. It's often described as squat, rectangular, almost fortress-like, solid.
Fortress-like. Why?
Well, it seems designed for two things. Maximum visibility, obviously, but also sheer durability, built to last. It really contrasts with, say, the later, more delicate Ottoman or Persian styles.
And it served a dual purpose, right? Not just the call to prayer.
Precisely. It was for the at hand, the call to prayer, yes, but it was also a very visible, very powerful symbol of Aghlabid authority radiating outwards.
So connect the dots for us. How did this specific minaret shape things elsewhere?
Well, this is the amazing part. This design, this strong square-based tower, it became the model, the standard
Center for the whole region.
for centuries across North Africa. We're talking Algeria, Morocco, even Andalusia in southern Spain. You can literally see the architectural DNA of the Kairouan minaret in mosques built long after, far away. It casts a huge architectural shadow.
That's incredible. So the exterior, especially the minaret, was clearly groundbreaking. But you mentioned innovation inside the mosque, too.
Yes. If you step inside, you find something else quite remarkable. One of the oldest surviving stone minbars.
The pulpit, right.
Right.
And stone is unusual.
Very unusual for that period. Most were made of wood, which obviously doesn't survive as well.
So what's special about this one besides being stone?
Well, its construction is fascinating. The panels themselves are carved from teak, wood teak, imported all the way from India.
From India, wow.
Yeah, but it's assembled with a stone base, and the carvings feature these beautiful, intricate geometric patterns.
So imported luxury wood, local stone, distinct designs. What does that mix tell us?
It tells us a lot. It shows these early North African mosques weren't just carbon copies of what was happening in Arabia or the Levant. They were actively forging their own architectural identity, taking these valuable imported materials, yes, but blending them with local techniques, local aesthetics. It's a real synthesis, a sign of dynamic innovation.
Okay, so Kairouan is pushing boundaries in architecture, both outside and inside. But its influence wasn't just structural, was it? It was a major center of learning, too.
Oh, absolutely. A crucible of knowledge. And importantly, this was long before places like Fez or Cairo became the famous university centers we think of today.
Kairouan got there first, in a way.
In many ways, yes. The mosque itself wasn't just for prayer. It was a buzzing intellectual hub. Scholars taught theology, law, Arabic grammar.
Any key figures we should know?
Definitely. A really important one is Asad ibn al-Farad. He taught at the Great Mosque, and was instrumental in spreading the Maliki school of Islamic law.
The Maliki school.
Yes, it's one of the major schools of Sunni jurisprudence, and it became dominant across North and West Africa. It often emphasizes local customs and consensus. Students came from all over the Maghreb to study in Kairouan with figures like him. Then they'd go back home or travel elsewhere and spread that knowledge, that Kairouani influence, far and wide.
So we have this incredibly important city, groundbreaking mosque, major intellectual center, which leads to a puzzle.
Hmm.
Why is the Great Mosque still here relatively intact? So many historical buildings, especially in regions that saw conflict or changing empires, were destroyed or rebuilt or heavily modified.
Right. And that's the paradox, the twist in the tale.
Yeah.
Kairouan's survival is largely down to, well, its decline. It saved itself by becoming less important politically.
How does that work?
Well, after the Fatimids conquered the region in the 10th century, they eventually shifted their capital, their power base, to Cairo. Kairouan became more of a provincial center, less strategic, less central to the big imperial projects.
So its obscurity protected it.
In a way, yes. It meant the mosque wasn't targeted for grand rebuilding schemes by later rulers, like the Ottomans, who often print their own stamp on major mosques. And it also largely escaped the kind of heavy-handed urban modernization that happened under colonial rule in cities like Algiers or Cairo, which sometimes destroyed old city fabrics.
That's fascinating. A loss of power leading to preservation.
Exactly. And the result is that today, it stands as one of the best preserved examples of early Islamic architecture anywhere in the world. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site for good reason.
It really makes you think.
Yeah.
Despite that status, despite everything we've discussed, it feels like Kairouan's legacy, its deep influence, is still kind of underappreciated.
I think that's fair to say. It doesn't always get the same attention as, say, Cordoba or Istanbul, but its impact was profound. That minaret, as we said, wasn't just a call to prayer. Someone described it as a call to build, design, teach, and innovate. That really captures it, I think.
A call to innovate.
Yes. And its architectural shadow, you can trace it, as the source material suggests, from Tunis to Timbuktu, from the Maghreb to Mecca. Maybe a bit poetic, but the reach was vast. It reminds us that Islamic civilization wasn't just about the glittering capitals like Damascus or Baghdad. It flourished powerfully in places like Kairouan too, maybe quieter, but incredibly influential and long-lasting.
So that brings our deep dive on Kairouan to a close. An amazing story of immense influence, architectural firsts, intellectual leadership, and that incredible twist that its eventual slide from political center stage actually became the key to preserving its unique heritage for us today.
A remarkable legacy indeed.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it, how many other places or ideas like Kairouan are out there? These crucial historical anchors that quietly shaped so much, but whose stories are, well, waiting to be fully uncovered. What part of Kairouan's enduring legacy stands out most to you? Something to think about.